So, kind of excitedly, there is some very good news if you're an Xbox fan, and this is from Phil Spencer himself, like right out of the horse's mouth. So, this should be looked at as something of a very, very good thing. Again, I think each of us will have to take some of these bits and pieces of announcements with a grain of salt, as if it's, something that's great or not, or if you believe it, right? Let's just be honest. These companies, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they all lie. They all try to get us hooked, and then, that's when kind of the BS starts. But this, I think, is something that's good, and at least for one more iteration, I think, is true. It would have to be. So, at least as far as I can tell. But I want to go ahead and get into it. What's up, everybody? I'm Crap Gamer. This is, of course, Crap Gamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you all so much for checking it out. I certainly appreciate it. And you know what? I think you guys are great. Please like the video, share it out, subscribe if you haven't already. And you know what? It's just very, very interesting to me. If you guys didn't know, I do daily gaming content, at least a video, sometimes 2 a day. And, I try to be entertaining, but also informative. And I think that's sort of a hard line to kind of do on YouTube. You know what I mean? Some people take things extremely seriously, and for me, I like gaming and I have a strong opinion on things, but I realized that obviously my thought process isn't the end all be all or anything like that. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from with that and kind of what's up. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is some interesting stuff from Phil Spencer. Again, it really kind of comes down to if you believe this stuff. So he is talking about the future of Xbox consoles, and he says there'll definitely be some consoles. So we'll see. Obviously Microsoft is causing a little bit of concern. Clearly the PlayStation 5's been outselling Xbox consoles 5-1 in some regions and things like that. So we have to kind of keep that in mind as we go forward. It's not like it's a small little group or anything like that, but 5-1 is a pretty significant advantage for PlayStation. And, what we're seeing is a situation where there's been some mistakes that were made, obviously. On social media and other places, many fans have expressed displeasure at the idea that Xbox is somehow abandoning the home console market. It's true that this generation of hardware, which is led by the Series X and the less powerful Series S, hasn't seen very much success from Microsoft, with reports indicating that PlayStation 5 has been outselling Xbox consoles nearly 5-1. Many people have declared that the console wars are over, and sometimes they are. It depends. For me, if I go, the console wars are over and it's something positive for Xbox, that just means to me, it doesn't mean that Xbox is outselling PlayStation. It means that they're doing something that I feel like is significantly better than what PlayStation is doing. And that's just usually what it means. I know people get caught up in a lot of the meanings and the secret meanings and things like that. Don't overthink it. Xbox, are they really sunsetting consoles? Are they going to go cloud gaming? That's where they're seeing growth, is cloud and PC. But the funny thing is, when Phil mentions that he sees growth through cloud and PC, that's because, strictly speaking, the Xbox has lost and declined every quarter by a significant margin. So when you see increase in cloud and PC, that could mean a 1% gain, a 0.5% gain, a 5% gain. Like, it's not lighting the world on fire, to be honest with you. So anyway, in this interview, which of course I'll link in the description, Phil Spencer was talking about the future of the brand, and he touched upon the themes behind the campaign of the new, you guys seen that weird thing where this is an Xbox and your bunghole is an Xbox. And people were talking about it. And he said, it's an interesting topic because as we look at the brand, we're changing the brand. It means something different. It literally was a box when it first launched. It was the direct Xbox. What it's grown into now is more accessibility. Xbox isn't just one device. Xbox is on your smart TV. Xbox is on your PC. Xbox is on your phone. And then we're in the middle of that transition. See, you don't say transition if you're not transitioning away from something. Just keep that in mind. To his credit, Spencer knows very well that some fans would ultimately be turned off by the campaign, having said that some people long for the simplicity of a single box, a single platform, single game. But he noted that today's largest games are bigger than any of the individual platforms. Again, like, Phil Spencer has a lot of delusions of grandeur when it comes to some stuff, and I try not to glaze the guy too much, because I feel like, sometimes he'll get something right, but you know, when he's talking about big games, he's talking about stuff like Call of Duty and Fortnite and Apex, and those games are bigger and on more than a platform. The problem is, not every game that goes to all platforms are big or worth it. You know what I mean? It really takes a polished, well put together game to be like that. Obviously, Spencer has spent a long time at Microsoft. He says, I think the thing that you should really have longevity are games, characters, and worlds, and the platform should enable us to experience those games where we want to play. That's how we think about Xbox today. So the number of games Xbox has for those platforms have increased substantially since its acquisition of ZeniMax Media, who own obviously Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. In 3 short years. The industry saw a big shift when properties like The Elder Scrolls, Fallout, Doom, World of Warcraft, Diablo, and Call of Duty now belong to Microsoft, but the company hasn't forced most of its games to remain exclusive, allowing cross-platform launches and support on day one for many staggered releases, like the upcoming Indiana Jones arriving on PlayStation 5 a few months after its Xbox release. But even with recent acquisitions, it hasn't been entirely smooth road, with high-profile games like Redfall, Starfield, and Hellblade 2 arriving to tepid reception from fans and critics. Although sales of Starfield were initially strong, the game's player base has waned incredibly low, even with the recently released Shattered Space expansion. The weak performance of these first-party titles and the continued support of other platforms has only stoked the fire for players who say Xbox will soon drop out of the console game. Speaking about consoles, Spencer says that he loves that people are buying Xbox hardware, but noted, and this is what I was talking about earlier, that it isn't a growth market. He says, and I quote, our biggest growth in Xbox players is on PC and cloud. The console space all up isn't growing across all of them. We love those customers, but in terms of continuing to expand and grow, Xbox, it's about PC, it's about cloud, and it's about making our games more available in more places. In regard to whether the company emphasis is on cloud streaming and anywhere devices means that they'll cease developing new home consoles, he had a definitive answer. He says we'll definitely do more consoles in the future and other devices. So clearly the other devices are probably a mobile Xbox that compete with some of the other handheld PC trends that have taken off over the last few years. Although taken off might be a little bit of an overstatement, in my opinion. Asus ROG has only sold about 500,000 units, and the Steam Deck is only at like 3.5 million. So yeah, not exactly smoking guns. But anyway, the handheld versions of PCs are often Windows-based, meaning they're still running in Microsoft's ecosystem and allowing players to play Xbox games on the go, with seamless transition between their home consoles and PCs, using cloud storage for their saved data. During the conversation, Spencer alludes multiple times to wanting to create a handheld Xbox, a detail he later confirmed with Bloomberg. Asked about whether there will be a mid-cycle hardware refresh like what Sony did with the PS5 Pro, he doesn't give a clear answer, but implies that it isn't necessary given the diminishing returns that developers are seeing with increased horsepower. And I quote, we think about hardware that can create unique value for our players or creators on our platform. We don't need to do incremental hardware for our own benefit. Does a new device really give you a unique experience on screen in some way? It's less like the old days, going from the original Xbox to the 360. That was standard definition and high definition. Now it's harder to show benefits. Spencer, the legacy of Xbox is top of mind, and how the brand continues to evolve in the future. Cloud gaming is at the heart of that mission. The DNA of Xbox needs to remain more than just the streaming service and software library. He says, we're trying to expand. What does an Xbox mean? I want Xbox to be something 20 years from now. I think in order for Xbox to be vibrant and be successful, it needs to be about multiple pieces of hardware. So, again, he's saying that there is going to be more Xboxes, which, you have to make that type of announcement. You really have to kind of make that announcement well in advance. Because it takes years to do, multiple years. So they clearly have something going, but the fact that he's talking about, is it doing something? Is it this? Is it that? I feel like that is sort of like what Nintendo did, because Nintendo doesn't go for like power or anything like that anymore. Nintendo is just really all about, the idea of having a game and, not really worried about the power and stuff like that. So, it remains to be seen how this is all going to work out. But again, having something that you can kind of look to and go, okay, well, we have, a console coming out or whatever. I mean, to me, it's cool to hear that, but unless they have something that's going to differentiate the Xbox console from the PlayStation, and I'm not talking about Game Pass because that's like a rental service. Like, honestly, that doesn't do it for me. But, again, we'll have to wait and see what they have. Hopefully some type of exclusive games. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll link this, of course, in the description. You guys can check it out. Let me know what you think. Hope you all have a great day. Rack 'em up, fact 'em up, crap gamer 'em up, crap gamer out.